How are you?
Hey, I'm Lucas.
Payton Williams.
Payton Williams.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. So, we talked a couple minutes.
Sure.
But then we stopped talking, so
Right,
we can
right.
actually talk on camera.
Absolutely. So, I think we have some things in common. You're a musician.
And you
as
are
well.
too?
Medical sales or medical marketing?
Yeah, so like I said, I've got a hodgepodge of, I said diverse portfolio. So
Yeah.
I sing every day at Eternal Word Television
Yeah,
Network at
yeah.
the Daily Mass. And then I do marketing at IMS, Integrated Medical Systems.
That's
So I
great.
do trade shows, really. So
Yeah.
I put on theater, but then upcoming I'm doing a production of Jesus Christ Superstar at the
Oh,
Virginia
that's amazing.
Samford Theater.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
great.
you,
Yeah, I last November opened an acoustic instrument shop called Cahaba Music. I have spent the last 15 years in medical device sales.
really, with him?
Yeah, well, I've worked for all the big ones.
Okay.
Yeah, Stryker, Covidian, and
Okay.
some of those.
Some of our competition.
Yeah, absolutely. But I always either have played music and have a teaching business on the side, teaching guitar, bass.
So what made you like? I mean, because I was kind of in the opposite boat where it's like I was working for nonprofit, doing theater, and then I was kind of like, oh, I've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
I gotta make a transition or something. So how
Drove
did you?
my wife nuts until she finally gave it.
Really?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Hey.
No, I got to a point where I just pretty much decided that if I don't do it now, I'll never do it.
Right.
And I've been really fortunate. I'm in a pretty good side of town that supports a lot of kids.
So is it in Cahaba Heights?
It is,
Like
yeah.
behind the summit?
It's on that same road, Cross Haven. So
Okay.
if you come through the summit and you keep going straight, just before you dead end into over to the road, there's a shopping center on the left with the Blue Willow and a few other gift shops and stuff like that over there. So yeah, it's great. And
So you do lessons and
lessons, repair work, and instrument sales, all acoustic instruments.
all acoustic.
So guitars, basses.
So where did you study? I mean,
mandolins.
or did you just teach yourself?
I've been playing for 28 years. I was actually a history major at UAB.
Okay.
I took some music classes, and I've always played around town, at different outfits, and started teaching. And kind of like yourself, kids and mortgage, and
How many kids do you have?
I've got 2. I've got 9-year-old twins.
9-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You got the mix.
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
we've got a 7-year-old girl and a 3-year-old boy.
Yeah.
And my wife says we're done.
Yeah.
So
No
she's
more.
like, look, you've got the best of both worlds. We're done here. So I'm like, okay. But I'm Catholic, so I can't trust that every day. So
Yeah.
anyway,
no, I understand. So, Jesus Christ Superstar, right?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
And that's coming up when?
That'll be in November. So right now, so Kathy Gilmore, who's the president of BST, where I used to work, she's been wanting to do it for a while. When she got the opportunity, she called me and said, "Hey, do you want to do this and play Jesus?" I said, "Yeah, sure." I mean, that's epic, sure.
Yeah.
And
Big shoes to fill.
big shoes to fill. Luckily, I go to mass every day,
That's
so
awesome.
hopefully I'll get some Holy Spirit or something. But so it's just training your voice.
Sure.
If you've ever heard the original cast with Ted Neely
absolutely.
and the other things where it's just, these
Yeah.
guys are wailing. So
It's a rock show.
it's a rock show. I mean, it's a rock opera. They say
Yeah.
it's a rock show.
Yeah.
So I've been just working on my own a couple months, just kind of positioning how I'm going to do this to last all the performances, because you hear horror stories of people doing it in the past and blowing their voice out.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
And I've really started hardcore on my diet and exercise, which is tough because I love to eat.
Yeah. Well,
Cake.
I can relate. Absolutely.
I'm growing this guy, so
Yeah.
I've got I know I kind of normally have a beard, but
Yeah.
this is 1 week, and I've got 8 more to go. So
Well,
I'm
you'll
hoping
be
for
there then.
Duck Dynasty.
Right. Just keep looking. Oh, that's great. So have you done any other productions? Is this the?
I've done a bunch of productions around town, but it's when I transitioned to my new job last year, it was just kind of that goes on hold. And everything. And
sure.
now I've kind of reached the point, and I've got great support. That's a great thing. I've got very supportive people in all of my different places that employ me. That they're very cool with me growing out my hair or looking kind of homeless for a couple months, and so it's good.
It's good.
So how many students do you have?
Right now, well, we've got at the shop anywhere between 75 and 100. I've
Okay.
got other instructors that teach there as well. We I teach guitar, bass, ukulele lessons.
Do you do ukulele?
I do, yeah.
So I bought that was my wife and I. We went on our honeymoon to Hawaii.
Oh, fun!
And I'm a horrible instrument. I can't play piano. I had a guitar and I couldn't do it.
Sure.
It's like too many strings
Yeah.
or something. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a ukulele.
Well, the learning curve is so much quicker on that, and it's nylon strings. And
and so I've
with
got
your pitch.
guess what? You got a new student.
Well, you could
See,
give me some
we
vocal
mentioned-
lessons then, right?
What's
So,
see?
synergy, right?
But I want to get my daughter one because she,
Yeah.
the kids. It's great because I think it's such a good instrument for
Absolutely.
kids because it's little.
It
It's their size.
Sure.
And they see. I've got basic chords and stuff that I
Right.
can do and sing along, and I think they're just fascinating. So I think it's a great
Right.
tool, and I'm glad it's gotten this like huge resurgence.
That's what I was going to say. Just the whole acoustic movement right now. I went and saw Mumford and Sons last night, and it was amazing to see how many kids embracing acoustic music. You go back 10 years, and that wouldn't happen. So now there's this whole kind of folk movement again with all acoustic instrumentation and. It's just so.
It's like the technology's going to change,
It will.
but you know what? There's always going to be strings and voice.
The human element,
Yeah.
and I think that's, you'll see that pendulum kind of shift a little bit,
Right.
Right, but
stuff like that.
but eventually, you gotta have pitch, you gotta have rhythm, and you gotta have tone, and you can't get all that from a Casio,
Right. Well, this is good. No, because my daughter's birthday's next week.
Oh, awesome!
So I'm going to come by.
Please do.
Because, she's, like I said, it's like I'll sit down with it and she's just like, can I, I'll hold a chord and let them.
Sure.
And my son tries to, like, beat it, so I have to be careful when I'm,
Right.
But,
Well, at that age, though, that's such a great age for them to learn.
Well, they're just sponges.
Absolutely, they are. And I'm sure she's inherited, from you, an ear,
No, she's got a great little voice. I'm not trying to push her any direction, but I want her to be open to, dance or
Absolutely.
Obviously the arts are huge.
Yeah.
You don't have the arts, what do you have?
Well, my thought on it, it's kind of like whether it's sports or arts, just expose them to everything and whatever they're interested in, just support the heck out of it.
Well, and I think when you're looking at careers and just life in general, the more you're exposed to, and especially in the arts, because they do give you a broad base of everything.
Absolutely.
That's what people are looking for in the job market now. It's like, oh, you worked in a film studio for a while, or something diverse where you're not just hitting the books all the time. You've got some life lessons behind you.
Yeah.
So.
You happen to catch any of the Sidewalk Film Festival?
I didn't. I've been my schedule's so packed.
Sure.
I just I'm so excited for Birmingham because I think we're on a real uptick.
Oh,
we've got
so cool.
obviously we've got food.
Yeah.
We've got a great art scene. Music scene obviously. I think Railroad Park and the Barrens have been great. Did you see the Barrens at all?
We did, yeah, and that's just amazing.
Yeah.
The view of Birmingham, and it is really, it's neat to see things kind of come full circle back to Birmingham downtown and the support that it's receiving. And the Sidewalk Film Festival, we my wife and I caught the Muscle Shoals documentary, which was just. Man, it was the energy in that place was unbelievable. It was packed at the Alabama Theater, and really, really well done documentary with cool cinematography of Alabama, and these musicians that look like they're probably Sunday school teachers on Sunday, but they were laying down rhythm tracks for Aretha Franklin, and just hearing these guys talk about it was really cool. But just so. The whole resurgence of downtown Birmingham.
Right. Well, it's cool. It's, like I said, it's a great vibe, and I've had to do more travel now with this new job, and so I'm always I always love coming home. Period.
Sure.
But you go around and you eat in San Diego or some other places across the country, and you're like, that wasn't as good as some of the places in Birmingham.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
And your music band, if you had a top 3 venue place,
this
or places
whole
you're playing.
area right around, First Avenue, Pale Eddie's, and just having, these brew pubs that are supporting local music, and there's so many good musicians in Birmingham, and that's another thing. It's kind of a nicely hidden secret of, what a great place to raise a family, but the music scene here is really strong.
It seems like everybody in town's got some kind of side talent that you may not.
So.
It's like, oh well, I'm a banker by day, but I produce films by night, or something like that.
I think it's just part of our culture in the Deep South. Where music is just inherent in who we are. It's in our DNA. And I think.
So do you play any bands?
I do. I play the upright bass in a couple of bands. One's called the Shotgun Troubadours, and we do everything from old crow medicine show kind of type, 1920s sound.
Let the lead guitarist stand on your bass.
No.
No.
But played in that band, and also I sub instruments with several different bands around town. I'm not. I'll play with anybody.
You just like the music.
Well, that's right. And I think there's so many musicians that are kind of intertwined in different different acts around town. That there may be a songwriter that needs a bass player. It's a pool of musicians.
So do you do a lot of recording like that? Like go in where somebody's like, hey, I need
absolutely
good bass. So what would your go-to instrument be if you had to pick?
Obviously
you play everything.
Yeah, acoustic guitar. I think that was my very first instrument, and then to me that's just such a good instrument to teach, to learn on, because you could take that anywhere, and then in a band setting, I think the upright bass, just makes a statement, and for years I've played an electric bass, and it was kind of. Just kind of in the background.
Bass player's always kind of the badass. He's kind of in the back.
He's the responsible one.
Just swinging.
That's right. But the upright, it just takes so much effort to set it up, and to play it that, you gotta see an upright player like, well, that guy's at least committed because he's carrying an instrument around as big as he is.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, it's been awesome being
here
and talking to you. And,
it's good to connect with
absolutely.
somebody.
Yeah, it's amazing, how much
small. Small world. You walk into a room and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Never know.
That's right.
So, I'm going to stop by with my daughter.
I look forward to it. I may try to talk you into maybe giving some vocal lessons at some point.
We'll
work something.
We'll work something out.
All right.
Thanks, man.
You bet.